All right, if you're here for the Blogging Your Passion University Fast Track class, you are in the right place. So we're going to get started here in just about a minute or two. So go ahead and say hello in the chat if you're here. Of course, you can always remain anonymous, but we would love to say hello. So say hi in the chat, and we'll get started here in about a minute or two. It should be a fun training session today. But if you're just getting here, we're going to get started here very soon. See, we got more people coming into the room. We have a live blogging fast track class. Today is about my two favorite list building strategies that I'm going to walk you through how I set it up and answer questions that you might have on how you could set it up. So we'll get started here very soon. There's many more of you in this room than have said hello in the chat, so would love to hear from you. Say hello in the chat so that we can have a conversation today. And maybe you come today with list building questions. Maybe you have no list. Maybe your list isn't growing as fast as you would like. I want to talk to you about that today. So bring your questions, ask them in the chat, and we'll talk about them today. To get started, we're going to hit and jump in and get going with today's session. So I want to say hello to everybody that's out there, regardless of where you're watching from. We're going to actually do something very different than what we usually do on the Fast Track class, and that is, you see that whiteboard just over my shoulder? I'm going to be switching to a different camera in a minute, and I'm going to be kind of mapping out for you step by step so that you can see visually how I set up these two strategies. And then I'm going to screen share and actually show you some live examples as well. So this should be a pretty power-packed hour that we are going to have together. And I'm so honored that you chose to spend some time this afternoon learning and investing in yourself and building your business, building your blog, and building your platform. So again, if you have any questions along the way, if I go over something too quickly, or there's a piece of it that maybe I didn't explain that you want further explanation, please use that chat box and give us your questions. And I'm going to leave some time at the end to answer those questions. So today's topic is all about my 2 favorite list building strategies. These are my 2 favorite ones that I'm using right now. In fact, you could go over to my blog, or the second one I'm going to dive in and show that one to you as well. And you can see how I'm using these, and it's something that you can do as well. Now, what I want to say up front is you don't have to have any more traffic in order for these to become effective for you. I want you to think about what I just said. You don't need any more traffic. And you know, the thing that I always hear from bloggers, and I know it's what everybody, we want more people reading our blog posts, we want more people paying attention to what we have to say. And the truth is, something that I discovered, and I didn't necessarily learn this early on, but I discovered it over time, is I don't really pay attention anymore to my traffic stats. I'll go in maybe once a month. There's been honestly a couple months where I've gone and not checked them. What I pay attention to is how many people am I adding to my email list every month. If that number's going up, I'm doing the right things. Because your email list is the most valuable asset in your blogging business. You could have 300,000 visitors coming to your blog, but if they're all clicking AdSense ads, you might be making some money, but you're not building a business. It's a deck of cards that could fall, and I've seen it happen to people that I know who made significant income with AdSense, had a lot of traffic, but they didn't spend any time, 0 time list building. List building is a foundational business tool. I had a mentor a couple years ago who said something that I'll never forget. He said, Jonathan, he said, the only 2 things you can take to your grave with you in this online business is your email list and your reputation. Everything else is subject to change. Google can change their algorithm. Facebook can decide not to show as many of your posts to your Facebook fans. Twitter can change their mind on what they're doing. Pinterest, all of them. But the thing that you ultimately control is your email list. You could start over a brand new blog with a new domain name, and the very first post have a bunch of traffic come to it because you tell your existing email list about your new blog. That's the power in an email list. So today I want to actually walk you through a very practical, action-packed session. One of these is a completely free way that you can get a bunch of subscribers just by spending a few more extra minutes with your existing blog post that you're writing. And the second way is a paid version, but I'm going to show you how, if you're frustrated with not having any traffic to your site, you can use the simple paid version of getting people onto your email list, very targeted people onto your email list. So see, we got a bunch more that come in. So I'm glad you guys are here, and we are going to jump in and get started. Before we do, if you haven't noticed, we are actually right in the middle of, and you're going to hear more about this if you haven't seen it yet, you're actually right in the middle of some new training videos that I am releasing with the new update to the Kindle Your Passion course. And in these videos, I'm walking you through a little bit more about my journey, as well as the journey of others who've gone through the Kindle Your Passion material to actually take something they're passionate about and turn it into a Kindle book. And so there are going to be 4 training videos. I just recorded another one today that is about 15, 20 minutes long. packed full of content to help you if you've ever thought about publishing on the Kindle. I'm mapping out a plan to do so. And in fact, in the third video that I'm about to create in a couple days, I'm going to actually lay out it's a PDF guide that you can download, lay out for you a 30-day writing plan. And the reason why I'm really focusing on this right now is because November, if you don't know, is the National Novel Writing Month. It's a 1 month out of the year where writers everywhere are challenged to sit down and write their novel in 30 days. And so I'm taking a twist to that and saying, hey, let's write your Kindle book in 30 days and let me show you the tools, the plan, and how to do it. So jump over to bloggingyourpassion.com to learn more about that, and you can get a part of that video series that is going to be up for the next couple weeks, and then I'm going to take it down. All right, so today we're going to jump in and talk about list building, and hopefully this is going to work out okay. I'm going to jump over to that whiteboard that's directly behind me so that I can show you how some specific steps of how you can set this up step by step. And I'm going to take my microphone over there. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. I'll try to do my best to pay attention to make sure that you guys can hear me just fine. So let me switch over the video over to there, and then we'll come back over to the computer, and I'm going to show you some screen sharing on how you can, some specific examples of how I've set up these two strategies. All right, so we're going to flip the camera over. And now I'm going to take my microphone over there as well. All right, get my microphone a little bit closer to me, and need to readjust our camera here. All right, so you guys should be able to see this board pretty clean, pretty clear so far. Let me just move it over just a little bit so you can see that a little bit better, and it looks like you can. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through two different list building strategies, and the very first one that I'm going to do is what I call bonus content. This is something that you can do with your existing, I would say your existing blog post right now, just taking a few extra minutes to actually provide someone some bonus content. So here's what usually happens. What usually happens for most people that go into a blog is they show up on the blog. You have your blog post right here, and then over here you have an opt-in box, and then right here you've got another one. And this is the way, you know, this is a good strategy. This is okay to set it up this way. So basically, when someone comes over to your site, let's say they come over from Twitter or Facebook or Pinterest or from Google search, and they come over to your blog, they are going to read this article. Now, this article may have nothing to do with what you're actually asking them to opt in for. So it could be totally disconnected, but we have these calls to action to try to get people. But here's what I've started doing that has radically increased the number of subscribers just by not getting any more traffic. And that is to provide bonus content. Let me show you how that works. All right. All right, so here's your blog, and let's say you write your blog post. So you got your blog post. Now, what I want you to begin thinking about is, what is something that is a little bit extra to your blog post that you can give as a bonus? A bonus could be further clarification. It could be a simple guide. It could be your blog post in a PDF. I mean, it could be that simple. I like to do something a little bit extra, and we'll be talking about some of the different things that you can do for bonus content. But I would say that there is a process to this, and that's what I'm going to kind of walk you through. So think about it. So I'll give you an example. Maybe your blog is about, let's say, 7 ways to do something, and as a bonus, you're going to say, here's 4 more, or here's 4 more of my favorite ways to do something. But the four more ways you're going to give as bonus. So, and this is just one example. I'm going to show you some other examples in just a minute that I think is going to help you as well. But here's how you set this up, okay? So the first thing is you start your blog post like you do normally, and then you put just a little teaser. Now this could be a box, or if you say, I don't know how to put one of those boxes, those call-out boxes, or my theme doesn't have that, then just make it a line that's in bold with a link at the end. And this is just a teaser. And it says something like, hey, watch, hey, at the end of this post, I'm going to have 4 more ways that you can do X, or you can click here to get it now. One of the examples that I had of one that I did was about, it was a post I wrote about escaping the busyness of life. And I went and I took the steps that I had in my post, and I just created a workbook. And actually, it wasn't even a workbook. It was like a 2-page PDF inside of Google Docs. And all I did was I put, lines, space for someone to write in write in the action step to that particular point from my blog post. And that's what I offered as bonus content. I've also before just recorded a video, like a 5-minute video, and that's what I gave away for bonus content. But the key is to put a little teaser, and in that teaser, you're gonna let them know, hey, I've got something extra special for you, but it's going to come at the end of the blog post. But you can still put a link there for them to get it. And then you go on with your blog post, and then at the bottom is your call to action. And it is, hey, if you enjoyed the 7 ways to train your dog better and make him obedient, then you will love the 4 of my favorite ways to get a dog to obey. Or it could be, here's 7 tools that help me get more done. And if you want to know my top 4 favorite tools for getting more done, opt in and I'll share that guide with you. And so you basically walk people through this, but you give them something specific. Now here's why this works so well. This works so well is because, think about this. How do people get to your blog posts? You want to know how? They have to click on something to get there. So I want you to think about that word, click. They have to click on something to get there. So if they see a picture in Pinterest, and maybe it has the title of your blog post, or if they're on Twitter and they see the title of your blog post, or they're searching for something in Google and they see the title of your blog post, that means they're coming there because they are very interested in what you have to say about your topic. So if you can give an email incentive, a lead magnet, whatever it's called, that is related to the topic, that's where it just explodes. And that's like, for me, I did a blog post on how to escape the busyness of life. And then I put this teaser with call to action. Within 24 hours, I had over 200 opt-ins in 24 hours. Now, that's not typical for me, not for a single blog post. And so that's the power in setting this up. And again, in just a minute, I'm going to walk back over there. I'm going to take the computer back over there, and I'm going to show you this specific example. But I want you to begin thinking about bonus content. And you might say, well, that just seems like a lot of extra work. Well, it doesn't have to be. It could just be a one-page PDF. You can go into Google Docs. You can take just the main points. Maybe you have 4 points on how to do something, and you take those and put them into Google Docs, export it as a PDF, and you've got that ready to go. It could be a simple video. I recorded a less than 5-minute video. It's just a screenshot or just a talking head video of my head. I explain something, how to do something a little bit more in depth, or it's a screenshot of how to do something, and then that video you just put on a page, and then when your person subscribes, they go immediately to that page. So it could be a PDF, it could be an MP3. Maybe you just record yourself reading the blog post and adding some more commentary to it, and you make it to where people can opt in and get that MP3. So as you can see, there's a lot of different options. You could turn it into a worksheet. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. Now let me give you a little bonus tip. If you say, I kind of want to try this out. A bonus tip is to go into your Google Analytics, open it up your range for the last year, and say, well, I've only been blogging 9 months. Take it out 9 months. And what is the one post that gets the most traffic? And what if you looked at that post and said, what's a piece of bonus content that I could give for this particular post? You will skyrocket your opt-ins just by doing that. And the example that I have is one of my most popular posts on jonathanmilligan.com is actually a post that I wrote about job interviewing. So if you went on a job interview and you haven't heard back, what are some emails that you could send out to people that are the hiring managers to find out if you could come back, get another interview, that sort of thing. And so I wrote up that post and got a lot of traffic. It's been on Google for a long time now. A lot of traffic comes to that page, and it's the single post that gets the most traffic on my blog still, even though I wrote it 4 years ago. Now, what I did I'd say it's about a year ago now, is I went in and gave away a PDF that I already had. It was interview questions, like an interview questions guide, a simple PDF. And at the bottom of the post, I simply said, hey, grab my 15-page interview guide right now for free. Just opt in. That's all I did. And I set that up. And now every single week, I get more opt-ins, more people added to my list, just by providing a guide to the one blog post that gets the most traffic. So that is option number one. Okay. And again, if you have questions, ask them. I see you got questions going on. So bring in those questions. I've got some questions coming in already. If you have some questions, or you like, I need more specific help on how to do this, I'm going to walk you through all of this. I'm just using the board to kind of give you some examples. All right, let's go to the second one. So the first one The first of my favorite ways is that bonus content. The second one is Facebook ads. Now, you've probably heard it, you've probably seen it, and it's one of those things that you feel like, well, man, I don't want to spend a bunch of money, or I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm gonna grab a stool so I can kind of sit here for a second. And so maybe you're saying, you know, I don't know how to set it up. I don't want to pay a bunch of money. Well, here's the thing. This is what I've discovered, and this is why I'm enjoying this so much. Here's two things to think about. Number one, actually, let me give you three. I keep coming up with more. The first reason you should consider it is because you can limit the dollar amount. You can set the limit. You can set the limit for $5 a day. You can turn it on and turn it off whenever you'd like. I mean, you can set the limit very low. You can say, I'm going to experiment with this and see how many targeted people I can get on my email list in actually using $50, or maybe you say using $25. I'm just going to use $25. I'm going to see how this turns out and see if it's worth it. If I can turn this into subscribers, which turns it into people buying courses, or people purchasing my services or my coaching services, or buying my ebook, or whatever it is for you. You can limit your dollar amount. So you can actually experiment with this. I mean, you can just spend $5 and just say, I want to experiment with it because I don't know how to do this, and I want to figure out how. Here's another reason you should do this. Targeted audience. A super targeted audience on Facebook. It is amazing how targeted you can get. And I could spend a whole session talking about this, but I mean, you can get super targeted. You can actually, here's one example. You can actually target fans of other Facebook pages. So an example is last year, some of you know that I launched a Evernote course. And that Evernote course wasn't about how to use Evernote. It was more about how do creative people use Evernote as a place to store their ideas, as a project management system to help them take projects, break them down into 90-day goals, and get things done. And so what I did is I targeted Facebook ads to only people who have liked Evernote on Facebook, their Facebook fan page. So my ad was only showing to them. But you can get even more targeted than that. I won't go into all the details, but a simple way to do it is to target your ad to a particular Facebook page. So think about in your niche, who are the bigger players in your niche? Who are the companies, the brands, the celebrities that are in your niche? You can target a Facebook ad just to them, okay? Another thing that I want to say about Facebook ads this is so critically important, and that is go for opt-ins. I've made this mistake because I've done it. You can choose a lot of different ways to use Facebook ads, but specifically you want to point it to website conversions. That means when someone clicks on your Facebook ad, you want them to go to a squeeze page that is an offer for an email. Now, there's different ways that you can get around that and do other things, but I'm going to keep this just real simple. You don't want to just send them to a sales page. You don't want to send them just to your buy my coaching package page. You don't want to just send them to your main blog. You don't want to pay just for likes for your Facebook fan page. Your goal, your single goal, is how much does it cost me to get a targeted person on my email list? And the reason it's targeted is because your ad is saying a specific thing, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit, and you are pointing that ad only to a specific person. You're not putting the ad out there to all your friends and all the people who are friends of your friends. We're not doing that. We're staying very targeted. And so that is how that approach kind of works. So here is how it looks. Over here on Facebook, here's my Facebook ad. It leads to a squeeze page. Now you might say, well, how do I set up that squeeze page? Well, if you have MailChimp, there is a little link in MailChimp that you can use. That link that is actually a link you can use to drive people directly to your opt-in on your squeeze page. You could also put your opt-in form on a page on your blog, but sometimes there's a lot of other links there. Or you can use an easy-to-use software. It does cost monthly, but you can use something like Leadpages. And so the ad, they come directly to here, and then that puts them on your email list. Now, there's a lot of things you can do beyond that, but here you are, you're building your email list, and you can do this. I've seen it where I've gotten it down to maybe 30 cents a person added to my email list, or 60 cents, or maybe $1 a person. So these are targeted people. So don't think that you have to get 20,000 people on your email list in order to start promoting things or earning money on your list. I've seen people effectively use just a few hundred people, but they were very targeted. They knew what they were about, and so on. Now you could build this out further, and we could do another class on how you could build this out further to where you send them emails which leads them to buy something from you. I mean, early this year, I did this with Teacher Passion. And so they would opt in, they would get the thing they opted in for, now they're on my list. And then day 2, they get an email from me, day 4, day 6, and then it points them to a course, or it points them to a product or a service, something like that, that leads them to purchase. Meanwhile, here, you're building trust, because you're not just saying buy my stuff, but you're actually building value. You're helping them understand how to do something. You're giving them something useful. So that's the process. You create an ad. I'm going to go show you how one of mine are set up. You point that ad to a specific page, and when they opt in, they're added to your email list. All right. So I see that we've got questions coming in, and I'm going to get to some of those questions. If you say, I've got this question, that question, ask away. I'm going to give some time here to ask questions and answer them. I'm also going to show you live some of my things as well here in just a minute. So let me jump back over here to the computer. And Got some great questions here, so we'll get to those in just a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to jump in and show you some live examples so you can see exactly how this is set up. So make sure this is broadcast to everybody and you can see this. I'm going to start actually with the first one, which is the bonus content. So everybody should be able to see my screen now. And here's an example of the bonus content one. So here's my post. It's called How to Create a Life You Don't Need to Escape From. And then not too far on into it, you see I've got this little teaser right here, and it says bonus content. Want to be less busy? I've created a special 5-page worksheet for you called Escape the Busyness Worksheet. Be on the look for it at the end of the post, or click here to grab it now. So if someone were to click here, it would open up this box. Now this is from Leadpages. That is called a lead page box. And it says enter in your email address below to get instant access to the Escape the Busyness Worksheet. Boom, just like that. Now, then you can just continue with the blog post. So it's just like this has been interjected into your post. Then as you get down to the bottom, you can see there's a little bit more of a call to action, a button here. It says, want to be less busy? I've created the special 5-page worksheet for you called Escape the Busyness Worksheet. In it, I will walk you through in detail the 3 steps mentioned above. This PDF worksheet is perfect for a one-day getaway brainstorm session with your spouse or business partner. So I'm going to post a link actually to this post over in the chat. So you guys can take a look at this in real live time if you'd like. And you can check that out. So someone clicks on that, again, they get this worksheet. Now, let me actually move over here and let's see if I can find that worksheet. All right, so here's what I did. I just came in here and basically just came in here and copied and pasted my blog post, but then I worked on it a little bit more. I created it to make it more interactive. So you can see I created specific application questions, space for someone to write down their thoughts on each of these. And then in one section down here, I actually created a table to help them with making decisions. I mentioned in the post, but I didn't have this table in the post. And so then basically I said file, download as PDF. Then from there, that's where I use Leadpages. I'll log into my account here. And you see at the top, you got templates, lead pages, lead boxes. If I type on lead boxes, these are boxes that pop up on your site when someone clicks a link. So when they click a link, it pops open. And here's the Escape the Busyness worksheet. It's like there's been 253 people that have opted in and downloaded this worksheet. If I click on edit, give it 1 second here. Okay, so you see I can change any of the text just by clicking over here. It's real easy to set up. Your integration settings, this will integrate with MailChimp, GetResponse, Aweber, all the major ones, so you can integrate with it. And then how I deliver the lead magnet is it's actually built in that I can choose to deliver that lead magnet. So here's the Escape the Busyness worksheet. Let me show you where that is. So if you go over to my account, there's a place for lead magnet delivery, and that's where you upload your PDF. So basically, that PDF that I just created, I upload it to this lead magnet delivery, and then I connect that inside of this little pop-up box. So when I'm done, then I just paste that link from Leadpages, and there you go. There's my box, and everything's set up and ready to go. So you may have some more specific questions. I can certainly walk you through that. But I'm going to, for now, I'm going to jump over to my second strategy, which is the Facebook ads. So here's one example. This is one for just one of my ads that I've been running for my mastermind course. About a week or two ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I launched a mastermind, how to launch a mastermind group course. And I decided that I wanted to create Facebook ads for that. You can see I set my daily budget to just $10. So I'm not spending more than $10 a day. Now, I have spent about $78 on this, but I have gained 73 email subscribers just with this single ad. So that means I'm paying just about $1.07 per email subscriber. Now, you can just do that to build your list, or if you have something to sell, if you have a course or a book or something like that, you could lead these people that you're converting down a automatic sales funnel to purchase something. So for me, my course costs $97. So if right now, if I have 73 people that are converting, my sales page is converting at 11%. So that means approximately 8 sales. So this, which would 8 sales, if in other words, those 73 people that have opted in, 11% of people are converting on my sales page. So that means the $78 that I've spent on these ads have resulted in about $700 in people purchasing my mastermind course. So again, if you're not a numbers person, that may not make a whole lot of sense, and I probably didn't do as good of a job explaining it. But that shows you the power in having, building out a process. Now, again, you don't have to do that to get started. You can get started by just saying, hey, what if I spent $100 and I got 100 email subscribers, people who are really passionate about the message that I have? I think that's a great start. Of course, you want to be smart. You can limit your budget so that you don't spend more than you want. But as you can see, this is how the process goes. So this is an example of an ad, and the ad allows you to add a little bit of content, as you can see up here. You do have to connect your ad, unless they changed it more recently, I don't know, but you do have to connect your ad to a Facebook fan page. So I connected it to mine. And then you want to have a call to action. Now the key here is your text can only take up, I believe, around 33% of the image of the ad. So as you can see, they probably let me slide by, or I was pretty close. But that's why my ad has me in it and not just my advertisement, because they want to have, they only want text to be shown on about 33% of your Facebook ad. So it just simply says free PDF guide, how to launch your mastermind group in 30 days. Click here. And so they can click on the image, they can click download, and 73 people have converted doing that process. So that is how it works. Now, this is the page they fall on. So if someone were to click on my Facebook ad, this is another lead page. It just says free PDF guide. Here's what you're going to learn in this guide. Download now, click here, and then they're on my email list. Okay? So that's a little bit about how the process works. I'd love to hear your questions. I see some questions that have come in, but if you have some more specific, I want to answer those. So we'll go with first question I see here. This is from Lisa. Lisa says, I'm new to blogging, so this question may seem basic. Hey, Lisa, every one of us had to start somewhere, and every one of us had the basic questions. So there is no dumb question. There is no super basic question. You're probably asking a question that many people watching right now are wondering themselves. All right, I didn't know any of this stuff when I first started. So you feel free to ask whatever question. There are no dumb questions. If someone is already on your email list, but they want the teaser bonus, do they re-sign up, or will they have already received the content via email? Great question, Lisa. It's actually a really, really smart question. So here's what I do have to do. I have to create a new campaign or a new list for each one of these. So I create a new campaign or a new list. Now for me, I use GetResponse. And you can actually go, if you go back to bloggingyourpassion.com, scroll down a little bit, you can see why I've converted and chosen to use GetResponse. But the GetResponse service makes it super easy. I mean, in the matter of less than 10 seconds, I can create a new list and have a code that I embed for people to get on. So for example, you can jump back over to Leadpages. So this will look different. If you're on MailChimp, it's integrated a little bit different, but with GetResponse, I just use the HTML code. It's a bunch of code. I don't even understand how it works. And you don't need to understand how it works. But you see this code right here. All this code, yummy, yummy code right here, is what I get from GetResponse. Now, if you're with MailChimp, it's actually a little bit more integrated. You don't have to use code. You actually just select the name of your list. So if you selected a name that was like my 4 ways bonus content, then you can bring some on your list. Now, you're probably saying, well, what do I do then with people? And I don't want a bunch of people on a bunch of different lists. Well, what I will do is I will move people onto my main list. So that's pretty easy to do. You can do that with any of the email subscription services that are out there. And so I'll go in there and I'll simply move everybody over. Now, what it doesn't do is it doesn't duplicate email addresses. So if they're already on your list, it won't move it over. So that's a great question, and that's how I do it. I set up a new list. People that opt into that list, I move them over onto my main list, and then we're good to go. All right, let's see if we got any other questions here. All right, and so Lisa's follow-up question said also, if someone signs up for bonus content, does it put them on an email list to receive all new posts? Or are we talking about 2 different email lists? Yeah, you're talking about 2 different email lists. And then what I do is just once a week, I will move everybody that's on that list over onto my main list. And so that way they'll begin getting the new blog post as they come out. All right, let's see what other questions we got here. All right, so Mark's question is, assuming one may use a process to develop a spin-off product for a week, would a good strategy be to time release it to last over a quarter while at the end taking another week to develop more spin-off and repeat? There's lots of different ways you could do it, Mark. If you're talking about, maybe you could tell me more in the chat, a specific example. So I'm just going to kind of take it off from there. But you know, I've done different things, like the post that I talked about earlier, where the interview guide. I didn't do this right away, but I went back over maybe a couple months later and actually created a course that they could purchase, since people were getting into that funnel. And then what you can do, and I don't know if this is what you mean by time release, but on Get Response, I can, here's an example. Let me back up a second. This Escape the Busyness worksheet that I just showed you, that I had. In fact, let me jump over to it. Okay, so this obviously created some stir for me. For me to get several hundred people on an email list over one post, that tells me a lot of people are interested in this. Well, what if I created a product that I could sell for this? I don't want to just come out the gate and say, here, buy this product. I could do that if I wanted to. But let's say I created 3 emails, and the first email was on how to do step 1 more specifically, and the second email was on how to do step 2, and then the third email was how to do step 3 plus purchase my course on Escape the Busyness in the next 10 days, or Escape the Busyness 10-day challenge. So for $27, you can buy this course that I put together on what to do for the next 10 days. So what I can actually do, Mark, is in Get Response, is I can take somebody or take anybody on that email list and take them back to day 1 inside my autoresponder. And then by doing so, I'm able to walk people who are already on a specific list through a new funnel that I've created. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so Mark says, so you develop a main product and spin off 10 other things, whether bonus or residual buys, using the process I outlined. Yeah, so Mark, you can do, you could move those people on your list into another funnel. So for example, I was talking about, how I use Facebook ads, and I walk people through a funnel of different helpful videos on my course, Teach Your Passion, which that was targeted more towards people who want to create their first course online. But this new Kindle Your Passion that I'm releasing this month, I could take all those people on the original Teach Your Passion email list, and I could send them through the automatic funnel that I have created for Kindle Your Passion. So you can kind of cross-promote different products and things with different lists. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay. So what I want you guys to think about, I know we're kind of coming up on our hour today, and whether you are watching this via replay, for those of you that are watching it tomorrow, or those that are watching live now, I want you to think about taking action on some of this. Either deciding that you're going to spend $10 to test out Facebook ads to see if you can get some email subscribers, or maybe there is a blog post, maybe an old blog post that gets the most traffic, or the next blog post you write, think about what you could offer as bonus content and put people on that specific list. So I really want you to try that. Give that a try. Let me know how I can help. We're going to be doing on October the 28th, we're going to be doing an office hour session. So I would love for those of you that are watching live and those of you that watch the replay to come back with your problems, challenges, the things that you stumbled on trying to do this. So why don't you make it a goal between now and the 28th of October to try one of these 2 strategies out. Again, I didn't get any more traffic. I didn't do anything different other than try to be more strategic. So with my blog post, what is some bonus content? Maybe that is holding back a few things. So again, maybe you have 10 ways to save, 10 of your favorite ways to save money before Christmas. And then you share 6 ways in your blog post. And then you say, if you like my top 4 ways of how to save money before Christmas, download my guide or my worksheet. And then put those 4 ways in a Google Doc, export it as a PDF, and then give that away and see how that adds more people to your email list. So I know there was a lot that we covered. I probably could have, in hindsight, just covered one thing, but I wanted to share 2 with you because those of you who feel like you don't have traffic at all right now, Facebook ads is a great way to begin building an email list. But if you have some traffic, you don't have to have a ton. But if you have some traffic, use the bonus content. So with that, I don't see any more questions coming in. So I think we're good to go today. Appreciate you guys being here. And I really hope that this was helpful to you. If you feel like, man, John, you covered a lot, you'll be able to rewatch this as soon as you log into the members area tomorrow. This entire replay will be there. You can pause the video. You can jot it down step by step and walk yourself through that process. So that's it for tonight. We're right at about an hour. Appreciate you guys being on this session and appreciate you being members of Blogging Your Passion University. Again, stay tuned October 28th for the office hour session. I've also got a brand new PDF that I'm going to share with you that I'm really excited about. It's the foundation for the new 2.0 version of Blogging Your Passion University that we're going to be rolling out this fall. And I think it's really going to help some of you get clarity on what you need to be spending your time and a clear path to follow to become a full-time blogger. So that's the process that we're going to be walking through. All right, everybody, have a great evening.